Hello class, this is our third and final lesson for the chapter. Missouri Learning Standard Reading, FS3, Comprehension 1C. So far we've learned how to use pictures to better understand the meaning of a story, and yesterday we learned how to summarize a story's beginning, middle, and end. And today, our learning objective focuses on drawing conclusions. After this lesson, you will appropriately be able to draw conclusions from a story. So, what is a conclusion and why does it matter? Well, when you draw a conclusion, you are using every piece of information, every clue, and deciding what it's telling you. A conclusion comes at the end of the story. Fairy tales typically end with the conclusion, and they lived happily ever after. The conclusion in Are You My Mother is similar. Baby Bird and Mom reunite and happily return home. A conclusion is short and sweet and tells you the story is over. Now, as promised, we will be looking at the story I've created for this assignment. Before we get into the story, I just wanted to point out that you will find my story meets the criteria of the assignment. I have at least 3 images that depict the text of my story as well as a beginning, middle, and end. All right, here we go. A day in the life of Miss Bond. Beep, beep, beep. Miss Bond's alarm chimes. It's time for school and also coffee. Now, do we see how this picture of a woman waking up to our alarm clock also represents what the text is saying? It's a beautiful day to teach. Miss Bond greets her students happily. They have a busy but fun-filled day. Bring, the school bell says. It's time to go home. I'm going to cook dinner, take my dog on a long walk, catch up on grading, and do the laundry, Miss Bond thinks to herself. You see here how the picture depicts what the text was saying. We were talking about teaching at school, and there is a teacher teaching her students at school. While Miss Bond's night does not go as planned. Instead, Miss Bond has leftovers, just briefly walked her dog, and fell asleep while grading papers. The laundry went untouched. When Miss Bond awoke the next morning, she told herself she would finish yesterday's task later that night, as she did every morning for as long as she can remember. The end. All right, so we see how this picture also relates to the text. Miss Bond has fell asleep grading papers, and we see that in the picture. All right, now let's talk about summarizing real quick. If we wanted to summarize the beginning of the story, we would say Miss Bond wakes up and gets ready for school. If we want to summarize the middle, we would say Miss Bond teaches her students, and then it's time to go home, and she wants to do all these things. And if we were to summarize the end, we would say, but it didn't happen just exactly like that. She ended up not completing all of her tasks and falling asleep grading papers. And as for the conclusion, we would say it was this last little paragraph right here. Miss Bond tells herself she will finish yesterday's tasks later that night, as she does every day. The conclusion is she never gets all of her stuff done. Alright guys, very quickly I wanted to go up our assignment upload instructions. Originally I had planned for you to actually upload your project to the classroom site, but unfortunately the website permissions won't allow for that. So what you will be doing once you've completed your project, you will save it to your Google Drive and email me a copy to my school email, which, in case you don't know what it is or can't remember, is located down at the bottom of every page on our classroom website. Now, for the Google form assessment, we will click on this tab right here, Project Short Story. Scroll down and you will see the Google form on the left and my short story on the right. This is just kind of a tool if you need to look at it to see what I did, what you need to do, anything. It's right there for you and easily accessible. This assessment form has a couple more questions than I had originally planned for, but they're easy. One of them is, have I approved your topic yet? And have you created your rough draft yet? If you answer no to any of those, you cannot even submit your Google form. You'll have to come and talk to me. All right, guys, we are finished with the chapter. How exciting. I hope you have fun creating your project. And as always, if you misunderstand or have any questions, feel free to ask me. Good luck.